Aisha Zubair, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Assalamu
so
alaikum.
Walaikum Salam. We are going to start our lecture on communication skills. And if there will be any distortion in voice or the still of slides, so please let me know by raising your hand. Okay, okay.
Okay, sir.
Thank you. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In the name of Allah, the most merciful and most beneficent. I don't know why this window is here and how to remove it. So I'm trying. Okay, we are going to continue with this one. And I think only one participant we have. Where is another class? I don't know. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In the name of Allah, the most merciful and the most beneficent. So we are going to excuse me, discuss about communication skills, how we have to communicate, why we communicate, why communication is so important, and why we should have to be so much focused on communication skills. So today we will just discuss the introduction of communication skills and importance and these types of points. So what makes a good public speaker? What is the traditional definition of communication in simple words? How people communicate with each other? First, we have a sender who just send a message to a person, another person, and the other person is a receiver. Suppose you just send a message to your friend like how are you and who are you maybe and what are you doing something. So you are the sender, he or she is the receiver, and the message you are conveying is the message. Now how we really communicate. First is you are the source, then there is a message and there is a perceiver. How it perceive it, like you just crack a joke in a layer mood, but the perceiver make it offensive, and he or she becomes angry on you. Or maybe you are angry but the other person just take it in a lighter note, or any other these types of perceiving you have. Or sometimes, or usually what we say, other person just perceive it accurately. Sometimes there are some difference of opinion. However, first one is the source, then we have a message, and then there is a perceiver. So there are three types of communication in actual. First one is you can say no, these are not the types. In actual, communication has three basic components: verbal, vocal, and visual. In verbal you can speak, you can explain. Vocal, and then visual. In visual, visual is the most important, because visual memories are the strongest memories. Visual memories are the strongest memories. What you see, what you understand by diagrams, your brain just save it, and you can understand more as compared to just verbal explanation. Remember, we just studied in our previous classes about curve cycle or any other mechanism. So if a person just explain you how one chemical just react with other chemical and change into another chemical. Everyone please try not to show your videos and also audios until you have any question. So what we were discussing. Visual memories are the strongest memories. So if someone just show some diagram, some explanation, our brain can understand it more well as compared to verbally. If someone just explaining the reactions of chemicals or any algorithm or any biological mechanism, you cannot you will understand, but maybe you will have some problems to understand about that. However, when you just see it in a diagram, you will understand it more accurately. So 55% of communication, effective communication, is with the help of visuals. So we have 10 simple rules for effective presentation, and everyone should have to understand or try to what we can say in this point. Try to understand these. Just give me a minute. So there are 10 simple rules for an effective presentation, and everyone should have to follow these rules so he or she can improve him or herself. First one, know your audience. You should know who is going to listen to you. What is the level of that? Those people, are they emotional or not at the specific subject or the topic you are going to present or advertising? What are the cultural background of those people, from which school of thought or which specific culture or area they are belonging, and what are their psychological needs? So you should know about your audience. Suppose if you are just going to deliver a lecture on cancer genetics or neurological disorders, and the audience is just high school students, so you should have to go on their level to explain what is cancer from basic. So you should not just explain them advanced level, so maybe they cannot understand. So you should know the level of your audience. If you are just going to discuss some political topic, you should know what their emotions, with which group of people their emotions are. So you should be very careful about all these points. Second one, you have to engage the audience with the different types of stories, or with explaining the specific points by different real-time stories, or your own stories or some history stories. So you can explain it with some paintings, with some pictures, or you should have to use the emojis or some type of illustrations, and you have to give examples so other person can understand it very well. Third point, it should be very simple and short, concise, with good vocabulary and words. Don't try to use complex statements so the audience lose their interest. Your lecture should be very, or your presentation or your communication skill should be so concise and simple that the listener did not get bored. So at the fourth point, we have body language and appearance. So your body language should be very attractive, very open. Don't try to show negative expression on your face or your body language, like someone is talking to you and you are just busy in your cell phone, or maybe someone is trying to discuss some research point or any other point with you, and you are just watching side by, or don't focusing on his or her point, or just turn yourself on the other side. This is not good gesture. Your body language and your appearance should be very positive in this point. Like in the first figure, this is the defensive standing position. If you are standing like this one, maybe this the other person consider that you are not in the good mood to discuss. So this is closed body and closed attitude. This is open body and open attitude to discuss in a positive way. At the fifth point, we should have to connect with each other, listen carefully, identify, respect each other, and relate the topic to some stories. And the most important point is respect each other, or also the opinion of other. Respect the other's opinion. Don't think that what you say or what I say is always right. Always respect the words of others, opinion of others. If you have difference of opinion, you can negate it with very good respective way. Don't try to be offensive. So after that we have point six, vary your delivery, your voice projection, your articulation, the pitch of your voice. Sometimes you have to give stress on some words to explain the intensity of that specific point, or you should have to change the pitch of your voice. Sometimes you have to speak loud, sometimes you have to speak dim. So all these depends on your communication. All these points will improve your communication skills, and you should know where you have to give some stress and where you have to be in a flow. At 7 point, the most important one: be sincere. There are three things to aim at in public speaking. First, get into your subject, then get your subject into yourself, and lastly, to get yourself to get your subject into the hearts of your audience. First of all, you have to get the subject, the topic, what you are trying to explain. You should read it. You should read it well. You should be well equipped in that specific topic. Then you have to feel that topic and explain your audience. And your aim should be like that. Your audience should understand it very well. At the eighth point, we are on avoid distracting visuals, verbals, and vocals. Some distorting voices, or maybe any picture that is not up to the mark, any voice or any animal voices there, or maybe your voice sometimes so irritating for other if you are just speaking so much loud, or sometimes you are speaking so much dim, so other one should have to be very careful and focused on your voice. So your voice should be very clean and clear. There should be no distortion in the voice, and there should be no distracting visuals or these types of points. You should be focused for improving your communication skills. Make an eye contact. You should be in contact, or eye contact with your audience at the different patches. So audience should know that you are involving the audience, and you are trying to explain in a good manner what you want to say about that specific topic or subject. At the 10th point, be prepared. And for preparation, there are 3 points mentioned here: practice, practice, and practice. You should you should do very much hard work to understand the point, and then practice it, practice it, practice it, and practice it. So these 10 points you should follow to improve your communication skills. So what is the structuring of a presentation? Why we make the presentations? So for communication, now we have presentations. If someone is just want to communicate for their research work or for any project, he or she should have to present something. And for presentation, your presentation also speaks sometimes. So you should be very focused on your presentation, what it is showing on the screen to other. So what is the purpose of that presentation, and what who am I presenting to your audience, what type of audience they are, their level of education, their emotional backgrounds, their cultural backgrounds, what do they already know and what do they need to know. These 2 points you should be focused for your audience, and what is the key message you want to give them, what will be the conclusion of your talk, and how long you will take to finish that specific talk. Suppose someone just in a presentation, the organizer just give you only 5 minutes, but your presentation is of 20 minutes. So you should know you have to summarize it and give the logical conclusion in the given time span. So here we have ERS principle. What is ERS principle? E stands for explain it, the specific topic; reinforce it, tell a story; and S is summarize it, give a logical conclusion. So ERS principle, if you will apply the ERS principle, then you should first have to explain it very well what actually the topic is. Suppose you are discussing about cancer. So first you have to tell about the background of cancer, then you have to try to explain it very well and tell the story so other one can memorize it. In the last, you have to summarize it logically. there should be a logical conclusion in the last. So your efforts will be rewarded by a good take home message. In a presentation map, first we have introduction, that is the opening story of that specific topic. After that we have a key message, then we have three different key idea, one plus example, and then we have to show over another idea with example, another idea with example, how to perform it or how other people perform it, which variations you will made it. So all these will be including here. After that we have conclusion, and that conclusion should connect with the opening story or the hypothesis you raise. In the first one is the first step is the beginning, that you have a platform or a lecture room, you can say, and start with the story that is relevant to the theme. So everyone, that is also known as hook, HOOK, hook. Like if you guys remember, we have a hook when we are just going for fishing. There is a hook to grab a fish. So the same with the here, same concept is here. If you have a hook or a story that will you can say attract the audience to your specific topic. Suppose if you are discussing about proteins, you can say that I can eat protein, or the audience will be maybe shocked from your this statement, and then you will relate your story there. Or if you are suppose discussing for any specific topic, you should have a hook in the start or a story, so the audience should attract towards you. Put yourself in the story, or so your audience learns something about. So if you will be the part of the story, then it will be more interesting. In the middle, talk about your audience, not to them. About your audience, not to them. It's a very clear message. Use analogies to help people understand. The internet is like an information superhighway. So try in the middle, you have to explain it with different type of stories that should explain the story of some people in the audience or in the daily life, or some journal stories. So you should explain it, you should have to explain it very well. Then you can show different facts, figures, graphs, tables, legends, and a statistical analysis, so people can understand. And try not to bore your audience. Your lecture or your presentation or your communication should be very attractive for the students or your listeners or your audience. In the end we have to summarize what we have, the key message or the logical conclusion after this so much talk, or after this presentation, or after this specific project report. So that will be much more helpful for everyone. So here Peter Jeff said that just as the comedian should leave I am laughing, the speaker should leave I am thinking. Like if a comedian just left the stage and you still have his jokes in your mind and you are laughing on his jokes. Similarly, Peter Jeff said that if a speaker should leave the stage, the listener should think what he was saying and what is the logical conclusions he was discussing, how much interesting lecture he has, what you learned from the lecture. So that's a very beautiful message from Peter Jeff we have. So usually we use PowerPoint for presentations. So you are the in the presentation, try to avoid so much data. There should be some points only for making your presentation on PowerPoint, and try to use maximum 7 lines in one slide, and or maximum 7 word in one line, one sentence. So 7 by 7 rule, this is known as 7 by 7 rule. No more than 7 words per line, no more than 7 lines per slide. So your slide should be very precise, or some words, so if listener cannot understand you well, he or she can read from the slide and understand. There should be no massive data in slides. And use the graphs and tables that should be readable and understandable with the help of their legends and captions or illustrations. Font should be in good size, so if someone just read it, if someone can read it very easily. If you want to add some special effects, they should be very added properly. And practice speaking aloud with your slides. You should have synchronization your lecture with your slides. So if someone asks any question from you, be calm, be honest, be open-minded, be prepared. First of all, if someone asks very basic or simple question, don't be hyper that it is very simple question or I already explained it. Just be calm and explain it again. Be honest. If we don't know anything, please don't try to answer. Just say I don't know, I will read and I will discuss with you later. Be open minded that if someone just say that your school of thought, or you can say your opinion is totally different, don't try to be hyper, don't become angry, just accept it and be prepared for every type of questions. So in summary, be sincere, know your audience. You should know your audience. You have to tell the stories, you have to relate the stories with the real time or real life. Build rapport, listen carefully, vary your delivery, keep it simple, be prepared. Anyone has any question? If anyone has any question, please raise your hand. Otherwise, we will summarize our lecture here and session will be closed. If anyone has any question, please raise your hand. Okay, thank you so much everyone for joining.